Hey guys, welcome back to World Mechanics. In today's video guys, we'll show you how to remove and replace front brake pads on Hyundai Elantra. We'll demonstrate on a 2013 model, but it should be the same procedure all the way until from 2011 all the way until 2016. So make sure guys you stay until the end, because there is something that you have to do for your safety, and make sure you don't crash your car after you replace your brakes. First thing guys, make sure when you're working on the front brake pads, okay, have the emergency brake on all the way. Next, you need to have some stops for the wheel, okay, and usually it should be placed on the other side. Let's say you're working on the left side, you need to place them on the right, because you need to jack the left side up. And on most front wheel drive cars, when you jack the front end all the way up, you have the rear tire in the air as well. That's why we need to put them on the other side. Next, okay, we need to break, okay, the tire nuts loose. Last time it was actually a guy with an impact that got them tight. Okay, we got the cheater pipe in place, so way easier that way. And we'll share guys with you the torque specs and everything for the caliper bolts. Okay, that's way too tight. You should always check the torque specs for the wheel nuts, because that's just unbelievable tight right there. But don't leave them loose either. That's why you have to know the torque specs. Okay. Next, you need to find the lifting point of the car. Usually you can find it in the manual. Okay, it tells you where to place it. Okay, right there. Okay, let's jack it up now all the way up in the air. And you always guys have to have a jack stand as well. That's a must guys. Never ever get under the car without a jack stand. Okay, next we're going to remove the lug nuts since they're loose already. Okay, we use that little impact here, that's a great tool. Check out the video description for more information, parts and tools. Okay, one thing that we will do guys, get the tire out and put it under the car. If something happens, the car will fall on the tire and not on you. You can always repaint or buy a new wheel if you scratch it, but just be careful. Next we'll need to turn the steering wheel, okay, now to the left, all the way to the left. That's when you're working on the left side, so we can access the bolts. Okay, we're going to show you in just a minute. Okay, right there. You can see now we can get to the brake caliper bolts, and we'll be replacing the brake pads and the rotors as well. Okay, right here. You can see this is the front rotor, brand new rotor right there. Okay guys, now we need a 12mm socket, actually a 14, my bad, 14mm, okay, and we need to take these two bolts loose now, okay, right there. Perfect. One is out, second one. Careful for the brake caliper not to fall and put any tension on the brake line. Okay, now we need to get a screwdriver, and we will need to help it a little bit because it's stuck there. Okay, that's the set that we usually use. Okay, right there now. Just gently, okay, remove it out of there. You can compress the brake caliper a little bit like that if you need to, so it can come out. Still a little bit stuck. That's factory brakes, never been replaced guys. Okay, what was holding that brake shim was holding here. It got stuck to the caliper, which is usually very unusual to have the brake shim stuck, and we'll show you how to prevent that guys, so it doesn't happen next time. You gotta make sure that the new brakes comes with new shims, okay? You can always spray some WD-40 guys. Okay, if it's stuck too much, okay, spray some like that. on the side of the brake shim and the caliper there. Okay, so it can absorb it and let it stay for 10 minutes. Okay, a couple minutes and it's loose. And that was quite a bit of an unexpected thing, to be honest with you. Okay, now we'll get a heavy duty zip tie, guys, and we'll tie the caliper to the strut tower right there. That way it's not going to hang on the brake line. Never ever let it hang on the brake line, because if you do that, you'll be putting too much stress on it, and that could damage your brake line and eventually even lose brakes. Okay guys, next we can pull the brake pads out of there. They come only one way. You can see those are almost completely gone. Okay, you gotta make sure that you keep the shims, because some of the new ones don't come with new shims. There is a lot of discussions whether you should get new shims or not. Probably I would recommend it, to be honest with you, but our current set doesn't come with new shims. Next, we have two big bolts. That's for the brake caliper bracket. Those are 17mm bolts, okay, and we're going to use the brake over bar because they're pretty tight usually. Stay with us until the end to see the torque specs when you get everything tight. Again, you have to double check for your motor because ours is a 2013 GLS. Okay, one is out. Okay, for the last bolt you have to hold the bracket because otherwise it's going to drop. And you can notice that the brake bracket bolts, okay, right here, they have thread lock on those. So we will have to use some thread lock when we install them. Okay, some brake pad set come with new glides right here. We're going to remove those and clean them. Ours don't, so we'll use some brake cleaner now and clean those. Next, let's go ahead and remove the rotor quick now. Okay, you can see it has two screws with a Phillips screwdriver there that we need to remove. Okay, one on top, one on bottom, and those sometimes are super tight, guys. Okay, so what you have to do, you have to hit them with a hammer sometimes. We'll show you how to do that now. Just get the screwdriver, okay, tap them, okay, and you can see it came loose. This is because rust will build there and it will be really hard to remove them. Okay, let's see if this one, yeah, perfect. Okay, next we need to spray WD-40, okay, right here. You need to spray, okay, really good. Gotta make sure it's not dropping on the floor here. So spray some like that, let it stay for about 10 minutes, okay, and tap it, okay, like that. And the brake rotor is out, guys. You can see, not very complicated at all. Okay, we'll get some shop towel now, guys. You need to get some sandpaper, okay, and we need to clean all that rust there really good and where the disc contacts the hub. That way the new disc rotor will get there good, will not be one side. Okay, brake cleaner right here, guys. So you need to get some brake cleaner. Okay, you can see all the rust leaking on the floor, and just clean all the rust, make sure that everything is clean so the new rotor can go all the way in. Okay, probably you should wear a face mask, eye protection for that. Oh guys, check out the new disc rotor, how thicker it is than the old one. One thing now is they usually come lubricated with oil, so they don't rust in the stores. So you need to get the brake cleaner, guys, and you need to clean the whole rotor now, because if you have that oil film on top of it, you will have no braking power, because you won't be able to stop. The oil will be lubricating. Okay, so you need to clean the front and the back side. Okay, you can see Make sure that it's not oily at all. Okay, perfect. Now you have to make sure that you align the holes for the screws with the hub. Okay, like that. You can see how good it gets in there. It's loose. That's how it should be when you have no rust. Okay, we will install the 2 screws. Get them tight now. Okay, perfect. Now the second one, get those tight. Okay, now we need to clean, okay, the caliper glides here, okay, so we need to make sure that you clean those good. Okay, now we can put those things together. Okay, they go only one way, so make sure that they're all the way in. Okay, second one is in now. We can go ahead and install the brake caliper bracket now with the 2 17mm bolts, and we'll get the torque wrench as well. We will use some thread lock now on the bolts. That's important that your bolts will not get loose from vibrations. Okay, right there, a little bit on this, a little bit on the other bolt. Just make sure that you do that, guys. With brakes, brake system is it's not very complicated on one car, but you have to treat it with respect, because that could save your life. Okay, so go ahead, install those 2. Okay, now we're just going to get it tight by hand, and then okay, we'll use the torque wrench. This is the torque wrench. It's set at 70 foot/pound. That's what it requires for our car. We check the manual. Okay, and okay, we're going to get it tight now. You hear the click. Okay, that's it, right there. Okay, right there, another click. Alright guys, now those glides right here, ours are greased, they feel really good, but if you live in a climate that you have more snow, dust, dirt, you can just pull them out, okay, all the way out, and you can grease them, clean them and grease them as well. Ours feel really nice, nicely lubricated now. Alright guys, we have the brake pads now. So now it's important, okay, to see how we're going to apply the grease. Whether you're using ceramic pads or regular parts, it doesn't matter. It's important to grease them right, otherwise they won't perform as good. You might hear squeaking and tapping, so we'll use brake grease. You can buy brake grease in a little package, like that little package, usually like 7 grams for like $2-3, or you can buy a whole big jack of it. That's what we use because we do quite a few brakes. So we get some brake grease, and you need to apply on the back side of the brake pads, just a very thin layer, guys. Okay, like that. That way your brakes will be really quiet. You won't hear any vibration, rattling. Okay, on both pads. Okay, now on the brake shimmer, okay, we're going to install it on the pad now, guys. Okay, you gotta make sure that it lines up with the holes there. Okay, like that. And we're going to apply a very thin layer of grease again. That's where the caliper will contact the brake pad. Okay, like that. Perfect. Now we have 2 options. You can apply grease on the side of the brake pad. Okay, right here a little bit. Never ever apply on the brake pad, okay, on the part that contacts the brake roller, because if you do that you have no stopping power, guys. Okay, and you can apply those just a little bit, a tiny bit, where the brake pad will be moving. Okay, now we can go ahead, install the brake pad. Okay, this one we'll need to push it up a little bit here. Probably with a screwdriver. Okay, you can lift it up a little bit. You can see how it needs to go under those things. Okay, like that. Perfect, we got this one in, guys. The same thing on the other side. Okay, you can see that's that metal piece that's sticking out. That's the one that contacts the rotor when your brake pad is wore out. So it will trigger the light on the dash that will tell you to replace your brake pads. Okay, so you can see we installed the second pad now. Okay, next thing, we'll be using the brake caliper compressor kit right here, but we need to do something before we do that, so stay with us. Alright guys, we need to get brake cleaner, and let me explain you why now. When you compress the brake caliper, all of that will go back, the piston will go back in the caliper. And if you have rust, like dirt and stuff like that, it will get in the seal. Okay, what will happen is that dirt will get under the seal and you might develop a leaking brake caliper. And this could be dangerous, guys. So that's why it's very important to clean it, not to have any deposits. Okay, like that. Clean everything good there on the back side, and then we can proceed with compressing the brake caliper. Next you need to find the one that fits, okay, the brake caliper. Okay, this one does in our case. Okay, so you can see it goes like that. Okay, next we'll need this one as well, right there. Okay, so now, okay, we're gonna go like that. And okay, you can turn it by hand because it's quite a bit actually. Okay, let's see. It still needs more. You can see, guys, how much more it needs. Okay, we're getting closer, and you see how it's going to compress it. Okay guys, and now all you have to do, just turn. Okay, you can see turn like that, and it's going to compress the brake caliper. Inside the piston you can see it's getting in. It's not so easy, so you have to put some pressure, but that's the correct way to do it. We used to do it with screwdrivers and things like that, and you can really damage things if you're not careful. Even if you're careful, sometimes still you can damage something. Okay, you can see it went in, guys. Okay, perfect. Okay, now we can just go ahead and slide it out. Okay, like that. Okay, next we can go ahead actually and cut the zip tie. Okay, we don't need it anymore. And now you have to make sure that the brake line is not twisted, so you have to make sure that the way it was, okay, you can get it out. Okay, check it out now. We're going to install it. Okay, see how easy it goes. That's perfect. Amazing. Now we're going to get some thread lock again and install a little bit more on the bolts right there. Okay, those are the bolts with the 14mm socket. That thread lock, guys, can save your life, so always use some. Okay, you need to lift up the caliper until you catch the bolt, and don't get it tight until you install both of them. Okay, perfect. Now let's set the torque wrench and proceed with the next step. Okay, with the torque wrench now it's set at 20 foot per pound. That's what it requires for ours. Okay, and we're going to get them tight now. Okay, it actually went already. Perfect, because that's quite a bit of wrench there. Okay, right there. So that's it, guys. Okay guys, now it's very important to do that step. Otherwise, if you get in the vehicle, try to drive, the first few times you press the brake you will not have brakes. It's very important to go inside the vehicle and you will need to press, okay, the brake pedal. Okay, and press it 6, 7, 10 times, okay, until it's hard. Okay, and I'll tell you why, because if you compress the piston too much, you have play now. And every time you hit the brake pedal, it will get closer and closer until it contacts the brake pads. When you feel the brake hard, okay, you gotta make sure that the brake probably have one person, okay, trying to turn, okay, with holding the brake now. Okay, let's see now, let's tread on the steering wheel. Okay, and let me see if I can turn the rotor now. No, okay, perfect. So now you're ready to go. Next guys, go ahead, install your tire, get the lug nuts tight, remove the jack, and you're ready to go. Thank you guys for watching, please subscribe and see you guys next time.